Hello, welcome back to more Haskell live streaming. I'm just going to get started today, picking up from last week. So last time I added account, a very simple idea of an account. And the idea is that an account has many ledger entries. So it might be like a bank account and you've got a list of transactions inside there. So I also changed the API to serve the very basic account. Whereas it's just a single endpoint. You can get an account by its ID, and if you find what it looks like, it's very exciting. It looks a bit like this. So it currently goes and fetches from the database the account, which has got some date when we opened it, some unique ID, and some friendly name on top of it. What it should have, and doesn't have here, is a list of ledger entries. So that's what I'm going to start doing now. So the idea is that when we serve an account, so here we're saying, and actually in the definition of the get endpoint, we're saying it returns maybe an account. I'm just going to break this from multiple lines. It's too much on one. We don't want an account per se, right? We don't want this piece of data because that's not enough. What we want is an account with, with ledger entries. So I'm just going to create that account with ledger entries. And I'll do it naively to start with, and then I can come back and look at improving it. So the most obvious way I can think of writing this is to say we have an account, which is of type account, and we have ledger entries, which is of type list of ledger entries. Ledger entry. Need to import that. Okay, and we will derive stock. Show EQ and generic. And deriving any class to JSON, and that's all. I'm going to do from JSON. I don't think. Okay, this is problematic now because we have a cyclic dependency. Right, so I'm going to have to put this in its own module. Okay, let's go with Cabal. So we have an account, and I want to create an account with ledger entry. Let's actually call it an account with ledger. So save that, and then we'll create it under source account with ledger. Module account with ledger. And we will export nothing. And then I can go back to here and then just grab this definition I typed out. Drop it in there, and then get rid of that import. So this file should be happy again. And now in here, I need to outdent this and then import these things. Okay, and then it's not giving me an option to export it. That's annoying. Account with ledger entries. Let's just call it account with ledger. And I can just call this ledger because it's shorter. Okay, and then in theory I can go to the API and then change it to say serve maybe account with ledger. And I should be getting an error there, but I'm not yet. So let's restart the LSP. And that just keeps breaking. So whenever I change the Cabal file, it seems to be that I need to reload everything. Maybe not everything, periodically reload stuff. Okay. So that's fine, but handle get account now needs to also return account with ledger. And I'll do it initially with 2 queries, I think. So I'll go and fetch the account, and then I will fetch the ledger entries for that account, and I'll join them together. So we can say account is that, and then ledger is going to be ledger store dot something. Now, how does this work? We have a ledger store, and it has load ledger. Okay, so now I need to change this to load the ledger for the account. But I can start with just this. So we've imported load ledger, and then we can say something like pure account with ledger, something like that. So let's, oh, it won't fix that for me. Where do we have account with ledger? I'll import a constructor for that. Where was I? Down here, okay. That's not what I expected. Account with ledger and its constructor. That should be okay, I thought. Am I not exporting that? I am not exporting that, that's why. Okay, back to here. That should have fixed that error. So I could say account and ledger. I was going to use what's the extension called? Record wildcards, and then it would spot that I have a variable called account and a variable called ledger, and I'm looking for a variable called account and one called ledger and to fill in for me. But because there's only 2 of them, I'll just do it explicitly. Okay, so now we have a bit of a problem because these are, well, yeah, we've got more than one problem. We have many problems. In fact, let me just get rid of ledger for a second. I'll fix the first problem, and then we'll build up problem by problem. So this is saying it couldn't match that. I mean, that type, so it has to be a just. Is that right? Oh no, oh, it's really complicated. God, these tabs are a mess. Okay, it'd be pure of left of just of that. Is that right? Yeah, not quite. It would be left. Oh no, it's got to be in F. Okay, so it is pure of that. So what have we got? We got either an error or thing. Oh, so left should actually be right. Of that. Okay, now we have a problem. So this is where I was trying to get to. So the account comes back as either either an error or an account, or maybe an account. Why is it maybe an account? Because I would have thought if you can't get the account, it should be an error. So this, oops, the implementation of this, which is down here somewhere, is saying accountdb.get, which returns a session error or maybe an account. So session.run and then get session. So here, sorry. And the statement for this is the get statement, okay, which says selects where ID is $1 and this returns maybe an account. So I want to try and simplify this a little bit. And the problem, is it a problem? The thing is here I am calling, I get my vector back, vector of one item. Why am I getting a vector of one thing? That doesn't make sense. It'll not be a singleton statement. Okay, so now what happens with a singleton statement if it can't find the thing? Is it going to load? Oh, come on, Google. Don't be sad today. Okay, instead of producing exactly one result row, and it will fail with unexpected amount of rows error, if anything else. Okay, so I think this would be better. We should get exactly one set of things back. This is no longer a vector. So we don't call safehead anymore. And it won't return a maybe, it'll just return an account. And I can avoid the line altogether. Yep. And I can get rid of this. Okay, and then back up here, we'll return an account. So I'll have to check out what happens if it cannot find the account and make sure we're catching and handling the error properly. But assuming it finds an account, that should work. And then I can get rid of these and then find a place that calls this, which is here. Okay, so now the type is slightly wrong because I said it returns maybe an account, but it's actually just going to return an account. So get account, oh, here as well. Okay, so in theory now when we use this effect, the account store, I should be dropping the maybe out, which is part of what I want to do. So back in the API, was it? Yeah, kind of. Okay, so the type of this thing is now, if I go back here, either an error or an account, which is closer. So what I could do, and it's a bit nasty, but let's do it quickly, is, I think I can do this anyway, run all of these on the account if it's there. Oh, not quite, actually. need to drop the just out as well because we're gonna get rid of all the maybes. In fact, let's start getting rid of all the maybes. We go back to the API definition, get rid of this maybe as well. Okay. Let me write that long form. And I'll work it out. So case account of, if it's left error, then it's just pure error. If it's right and some account, it's pure right. And then back. Oh, that's pure left of that. Okay, so that would just be the account on its own. In fact, let me just see if this works. So let me just restart LSP in main as well, see if that fixes things. While that's going, I'll see if I can find my warnings. They are not there. Okay, not sure where the warnings are coming from. I won't know. Oh, here we go, it's loaded. Remove all redundant things. Okay, so back to the console and run it again. It'll recompile it. Okay, if I reload this account, yeah, okay, so now we have a nested account and we have an empty ledger. So I need to go and load the ledger. So one of the things that's worrying me is the nestedness of this that's going to be coming. But I think we'll work it out somehow. Let's see. So ledger is going to be ledger store dot load ledger, I think it was. It should just be load. It shouldn't be account store get account, it should be account store get. Anyway. Let's import the ledger store. Okay, and now we don't have it in our context here. Ledger store f.let let's import that. Sorry, it's f dot. That's right. I'm qualifying the operator awkwardly. So now this needs ledger store as well. Okay, and I might just read the lines as well because again it's a bit long. Okay, we'll get an error in a second because it's not in my app, but I haven't got there yet. I think it's further down in the file. So we get the ledger, and then in here, I'll just do the nesting, and then we'll come back and fix it. So we can say if ledger of, and if that's left error, then it's going to be pure left error. Otherwise, if it's right of the ledger, okay, we'll come back to that in a second. If is where the ledger will use it. Okay, so this is an account, so we'll get account error, and so here we're saying this is get account error, and this is a ledger store error. Not really sure what to do with these errors. Another attempt at this point is some strings or text or something. Left of t dot, let's say t show. I'll just define that. Left of t show, and I will define it. It's not quite like this. It's anything that's showable, and it is t.pack.show. Okay, so we just take any error that we can show, we'll show it, then we'll pack it into text and return that. So now you see to type the API because I've told it we're going to return text rather than a structured error. It's not a great thing to return, but at least it is workable. Okay, so now we're almost there, but horrible nesting. So we get the account. I could actually move this down here. So we get the account. If there's an account, then we load the ledger. I'll need to fix this in a second, so only load the ledger for that account. Look at the ledger. If we load it successfully, then we return it as part of the account with ledger. So down here, there's an error saying the context is wrong because here I'm going to need a ledger store. .run ledger store IO with the connection. Okay, something unexpected broke there. Why did it outdent that? Okay, and now the error confusingly is saying that in here, I didn't tell it that I want the ledger store. Couldn't match accounts with ledger store. So, of course, it seems to be that this is the opposite way around from this. So, it was server error, account store, ledger store, logger. And down here, we got server error. Right, delete that and drop it there. Server error, account store, ledger store, logger. Okay, that made all the errors go away. So it should compile and run. Reload it. Oh, reload it with the right key combo. There we go. Okay. So the ledger has got all the ledger entries in it. Now, interestingly, these ledger entries contain the account ID. This one completely matches, this one completely matches, and this one does not. So this should not have been here. So I need to change the way we load ledger entries to take an account ID and use that and only return those entries. Okay, let me see that. That's what I wanted to do. Okay, so let's go to the effect. Start there. So this load, I am going to say it going to take a UID, the account ID, and it's going to return that. So this, I think, will need to be a dot, maybe not. Oh, it will do, because here I also need to take a UID. I'm surprised it hasn't errored. I think I should have to do that. Here, we're going to take the account ID, and we're going to say db.list, give it the connection, and give it the account ID. So drop to here. It's going to take the connection. It's going to take UID, which is the account ID, and we'll pop it into there. We could probably just reduce it, I think. This is going to be UID to that, isn't it? Let me find an example of create. Where am I putting everything? So create takes a ledger entry, create session takes that. It drops in the middle. That's why I needed to do it. And then we take it here, and then it gets passed in as part of the die map. Right, so go back to this list session. Take the UID to that. And this is the account ID. Account ID, is that right? It's not looking at me, so go back to create, sorry. Create, take connection and entry, and it's session.run, create session LE. Okay, so this is going to be account ID. Wait, hang on, sorry, list. This takes a connection as well. Right, then we call list session, passing in the account ID, and then the connection. Okay, now in list session, like create session, it is session.statement, account ID, and then create statement. So here it's session.statement, account ID, and then list statement. Okay, and this is slightly weird. So it's statement, UID, that. Okay, so now die map. Do we need to die map it? I'm not sure we do actually. Because I don't think we do anything with UID other than use it. So we can say where account ID equal $1 of type UID. Like magic. Okay, so I think this will now pass the account ID all the way down, and I can use it there. So back in the API, when calling load ledger, I should be able to give it the account ID. So act.id. Does account not have that? Yeah, I've got that. Oh, where I'm importing the account, I'm not importing the account. Import account. There we go. So wherever we were, here, I just need to import this ID function basically. Okay, so in theory now it should be passing the account ID all the way down. So let's try running it again. Oh no. So this is in the ledger store. Why did it not pick that up? Is it because I forgot to save the file? It is because I forgot to save the file. Okay, so back to here. If I load this again, it should only be 2 ledger entries, and they now match the account. Okay, so it works, but there's stuff I don't like. This nesting is pretty nasty. The thing I want to find out is what happens when the account ID doesn't exist. So if I just stick like a 9 on the end of it, it just doesn't valid UID. That's not really what I want to do then. If I stick a 9 at that point, okay, we do handle the error. Like, it's not very nice, but it's returning left of a thing, which is what I've told it to do. Because this is really right of the thing. I might get rid of left and right at some point and actually throw, like, return a 404. I guess in this case it was not found. Okay. So I don't like the nesting of this, and also we're having to do 2 queries to get stuff back, which is not the end of the world, but it's not great. It'd be better to get the database to load it, I think. Like standard practices, get the database to do all the work and then just display it in front end. It's probably the right thing to do in this case. So I'm thinking what I could do is say, it's either going to be an error or an account with ledger. So we'll just load everything in one go in our implementation of this, and then we will return the full thing. Account with ledger. And this will also be, it's upset because this returns an account. So I'll get this to also return an account with ledger. I should probably import. And this is going to be an account with ledger. And this is going to be an account with ledger. And this time map is going to be quite complicated. I'm going to rename this to be to account with ledger. So we wouldn't say that. I can never remember syntax for joining things, but I'm guessing it's going to be join. Actually, okay, the answer one query isn't as clever as I thought it was. So we get a lot of accounts coming back. Just doing a join doesn't work. I could just subselect, but then what's the point? I guess it saves a round trip to the database, but that's about all it does. That's nasty. Putting subselect in there. I don't even know how you do this in Haskell. So let's oops. Haskell subselect. Okay, I like that, but actually pay attention to the fact something for Haskell. And also pay attention to the fact something for subselect. Yeah, it's not working. Okay, maybe it doesn't support it. So let's undo this approach. What else can I do then? That's back to there, and then that looks right. API looks right again. Okay. I want to do this work. I don't want the API endpoint to care about it. I just want it to be able to say, go and get an account with a ledger. Actually, would that work if this also included ledger store? Can I do that? I mean, that it worked. Ledger store in there. No compiler errors. So given I have the ledger store, what was this doing? It's turning the database error into an account error, or get account error. Okay, so here we can say that this is the account part. So basically what I had in the API, but I'll move into here. And then I can say the ledger is going to be map session error, but only if we got an account. So then I want nastiness in here. So case count of left error to left error, right account, and then we will load the ledger. So map session error, I guess we want to keep it as get account error, because it's not get account error. If I actually turn it into like a load ledger error, then it won't match the type of this, not that, but it won't match the type of something, whatever this type is. Yeah, it's get account error. Okay, so we don't need to lift IO because that'll happen in whatever this store is, but we can say get no. Ledger store.load ledger. And that takes the account.id. And then in theory, we can say case ledger of, and if it's left error, then it's left error. It's not left error, it's pure left error. And that would be pure of that as well. And if it's right and then some ledger, then we're going to say pure of right of account with ledger, the account and ledger. So I'll import that one. And what's from here? Ledger was not imported. Okay, this is not right. So this is, and I tell it what we're returning. No, I didn't tell it what we're returning. So account with ledger, account with ledger. We need to call ID. Okay, so in theory, this will now return the account with the ledger. So back to the API, I can now just do this. Should be the same thing. Oh, I thought it was text. So it's this thing where if it's left, then we want to run that function on it. Which I called map error, I think, somewhere. Map session error. But here, there should be like a left or something I can use, I think. Let me just go Google here. Google. So I've got a function which goes from A to a C, and then either A or B, and I want to turn it into an either C or B. That should be a function, right? Map left in extra. Map left in either. Anything in base? Nothing in base. I'm not sure it's going to work. Let's do the either combinators. I'm not installing a whole new package just for that. Okay. So I want a thing which is like show error, which takes, let's just say it properly. Let's say map left, which takes something A to C and something of either A or B, turns it into either A or C, and then map left, give them some function, and left whatever that value is, called X. Is going to be left of f of x, not the right functions. How much type C with A? Yeah, because it's actually CB. And then map left, we don't care what the function is, it, and just whatever this is, just return it. Wow, okay, that's annoying. It makes sense though. So I can't just use X because X is of type either AB, and I want it to be of type either CB, so I need to use the right constructor to recreate the type, recreate the value, sorry, the right type. So then this would be map left map left t show of that. Let's do things so it's pure of that. Is that right? Not quite. Oh yes. Okay, so account is that because it's running under the effect. I need to unwrap that effectively. So then I can say map left t show account. In fact, actually, I could just say map left t show and then apply whatever's in there. Okay. Oh, hi Alex, long time no see. You've appeared like a ghost from 2001 on the telephone. Okay, errors have gone away. I'm completely thrown by the appearance of Alex. Alex, we should go for a drink at some point. It's been too long, like it's been about 10 years. Okay, it still works. It's not a very exciting outcome because it looks exactly the same, but in here, I don't have the nested case stuff, but I've just hidden it. I've ended up just pushing it down into this implementation. I'm not really sure if I can do any better than that. I guess this in itself is a bit ugly. Can I do a right thing? Like, can I say either B to C, A, B, A, C? Is that in standard library? No, it's the same. It's just in extras. So we can write that. So map right. It takes B to C, takes an either A or B and returns an either A or C. Map right F of I'll do them in the same order. So if it's left, we're not going to use the function here. That's left x, and that's not the right function. And then map right f of right x is right of f of x. Okay, and then I'm thinking I can extract all this stuff. So I can say something like add ledger. It's going to take an account, and it's actually means to run this under an effect. So it's really going to be ledger store. Going to take an account, and it's going to return account with ledger. Not really, because it's going to be a bit more complicated than that. I'll just copy it because it's easier. So this is what roughly we want. So I'm going to call this add ledger. going to take connection. It's going to take an account. Does it need a connection? It shouldn't need a connection. It's got the effect, I don't think. It's going to take a ledger store. I don't think that's quite right. Let's see. Add ledger count. It's not right. This is going to be a count with ledger. So I put it in brackets there. Okay, we can take an account, and then we're going to do this. Okay, it's not going to be a count with ledger. It's going to be either get account. What's the type of this? I need to go up to the effect to find out. It's either a get account error or this. Okay, so we get the ledger. And then we can say map right, actually move it to the end rather than in the middle of the file, but we can say map right our function, which is account with ledger, and then the account we were given, and then the ledger. Now we actually need to run it to that, I think. We've mapped session error way too early. Right. Can we use diamap on an either? So the ledger at the minute is either some error or a list of ledger entries. If it's a list of ledger entries, we want to use it here. So what's the type of diamap? Because I wonder if I can say, you know, give it two functions, right? You can say if it's left, then we say map session error. And if it's right, then we can say a function which takes the ledger entries and says account with ledger. Account under ledger entries. I'm wondering, but I don't know if that type is right. So diamap from profunctors. Google is not happy. This is the question, right? That's one question. Does either match this? Is it? Oh no, I need to tell it to run something, a ledger. So is it pure of that? Not quite. Okay. This needs the constructor, so it was, where am I mapping before? Get account error. Oh no, this is more complicated. So this is actually get account error of show. I wonder if it's passed in here. Is it left? Or is it not? Okay. No. Anything's wrong with that. Okay, I can't use map session error because the it expects to be given an either, and I think it's just going to be given the left in this case. So I wonder why die map is not turning into a new thing. Oh, I think I know. No, hang on. We've got a function that goes from A to B. So this should take an A, which is a load ledger error, and should turn it into a get account error. Let me just turn it to text for a second to see how we make this work. This would be pack.show. No. Okay, so map right is not, well, I want map left isn't, this is effectively map left. I'm confused because I thought die map was supposed to return something of a new type, like a PAD. So we have a function which goes from B to A. B in this case is load ledger error. And this should go from load ledger error to get account error. And we've got C to D. So in this case, C, this thing, would be a list of ledger entries. And we turn a list of ledger entries into an account with ledger. Just quickly, not what I want to end up with, but what happens if I tell it it's that? Oh, okay. Either it's not a proof functor. Okay, answers my original question is, can I use diamap with either? And it seems the answer is no. Okay, we just checked. Cabal REPL. Info either. It's not a proof functor. Is it really not a proof functor? There's just no instance for it. I guess it's common enough if there was an instance, someone would have written it. Okay, so what I want to do here is write a function. Where is map? Right for a minute. So we just call this map result. And what we're going to do, we're going to say A needs to be showable. And we need something which takes the showing of it to a new type. And we have another function which takes B to D. And we got either AB, and we're going to return either C or D. And we will say, given some F, we don't care about the other F, and left of X, this is where we're going to return left of F of show of X. And then we call map result. And we don't care about that function, we care about this one now. And it's right of X. That's going to be right of F of X. And I've typoed here. It should be a D. Okay, so now we can say map result takes two functions, so it's going to take account with ledger, and the account, and then the other one's going to be that's a success case. So the failure case is going to be get account error. I can get rid of the showable constraint. I think, because I can just say this needs to take A to C, and then I can just get rid of the show, pop it in there, and that gets applied to ledger, and then it's pure of that. And I messed it up because I put this in temporarily. Okay. I deleted map right, but I do want it again. The map right was simply B to C, either A or B, takes it to either A or C. Map right, we don't care about the function, and left of X, and that's equal to left of X, and map right, oops. Now we do care about the function, right of x is right of f of x. Okay, back up here, get the account. And I'll let it map the session for a second. I don't think I quite want it up. Map right. We want to map them both. Yeah, I want to get rid of this. So account will now just be either session error and account. We can say map result. And here it'll be get account error.show. And the other one will be ledger and the account. Oh, tricksy. I might actually need to write this out long form. So add ledger tab is a bit too complicated because it runs an effect. So I can't call it in the middle of this. If you look at map result, I said the type of this is B to D, but actually the type of this is B to running the effect. So it's kind of we're really B to running D under the effect. This whole result will be running under the effects. So that's not going to work. So can I say map right? Even map right is not running under the effect. I do need to convert the error if it's an error getting the account back. So here I could just say add ledger account. Okay, and this is not just left error, it'll be left of get account error of show of error. So I didn't use this, and I've stopped using this, although maybe I should use it again, but I don't know. And yeah, this didn't help in the end. Okay, does it compile? Compile, run that. Does still work. What does the API look like now? API looks okay, I think. I mean, mapping it to text is not great, but I I just need to improve the error handling. Get account. And the type of this is now either get the account error or get the account with the ledger. That's fine. And then down here, when we run it, we get the account back. If there's an error, this is a bit of a car crash, but I can tie that up. Just hide it basically. Otherwise, we add the ledger, and that will load the ledger from ledger store. And either turn the error part into a get account error, or it will turn the ledger entries into an account with ledger. And it's okay. One final thing. So grab this string. And drop that into here, and I should get a different account back. Oops. Should get a different account with a single entry. Yeah, that looks right. Okay, I didn't get around to returning the amount in here. So the balance. So what I really want to do is get the ledger entries back, sum them all up, and fill the balance in. But I'll do that next week, I think. So for now, I'll stop at this point. But I've got some code that loads accounts and now attaches ledger entries onto them. So you can at least see what happened in your account. We should probably sort these stuff as well, but I can do that later. Cool. All right. I'll leave it there. Thank you for watching along. I hope to see you next time, and we'll tidy this up a little bit and maybe look at the balance. Cool. See you then.